que grabe. Está grabando.
Ahora tienes la mierda from last time. And I hate it.
Ya siento la calor, ya.
Yo también.
Ya siento la calor. Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
We're back.
We are.
Are we?
So, hey, I'm Miguel.
And I'm James. He's Miguel. You can follow me at blipblarp James_237. Is that it?
James J _237.
James J _237. You can follow Miguel at
Miguel Cypher.
Miguel _Cypher.
Miguel _Cypher, and it's on Instagram.
On Instagram, and don't forget to
like us, follow us,
like us, smash that subscribe button,
smash that button,
give us
a like.
And don't forget that you can also support us through Patreon.
Our
now.
Patreon is live. It's on. We already have one patron helping us out.
Patron donor, yeah.
So just contact us. You might get a shout out for our next episode. We might do an opinion piece on whatever you picked. So yeah, man, go support us.
Go support us. Anyway, so do you want to start, Miguel, or should I?
Which Miguel should start this? All right, I want to start saying it's been a uneventful week. This one.
Yeah.
Last week was pretty good. This week was
not so good. Not so good.
Yeah, we got one trailer and
we saw
one
a movie.
Yes,
that we will get to. But let's start with the trailer.
Let's start with that trailer.
You say the name because I think it's too long.
Spoopy.
Set.
No, not Spoopy.
They will sue us.
What? Scary story. Scary.
You see what I mean about the title? Do you see what I mean about the title? It's too long.
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
It's too long.
It's the title.
Just
of
like
the
the
book.
trailer.
It's
too long.
It is. But you said it's not long. It's 2 minutes.
Okay, so the movie is about these group of it's based on these children horror books, which is a weird thing to say.
Or a book, actually. I'm not sure.
Whatever.
It's just short stories.
I'm not familiar with them at all. This is the
Neither
first.
am I.
This is the first I hear of them.
I've heard of them before, but the thing is, for our U.S. viewers, we didn't grow up with these stories. I know this book is pretty big out there. Yeah. People read it around campfires.
It's Swedish.
Yeah, but American, at least what I understand, American audiences grew up with this. You know, the kids. We didn't. We didn't get that. We got goosebumps. If anything,
I saw the trailer to this movie, and it was the first time I've heard of this. And I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I enjoyed it. I think it has kind of like an It feel to it. Like aesthetically, it looks a lot like It.
Yeah.
Like I think when I said that the trailer's too long, the length isn't the issue. It's the fact that, the movie is about these kids that find a book, and it's a book of horror stories, and then the stories start writing themselves and happening to the group of kids that found the book. And I saw the trailer, and I don't think the length is the problem. I just think that they literally gave a lot of the scary parts away.
They did. They showed because this is the second trailer.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay.
The first trailer was actually me and shout out to Rosanna. We were pretty pumped about it. But with this one, I don't know if she's still pumped about it, but I am worried because they have showed way more of the creature design
and the scares.
Yeah. I'm hoping that there's a couple things that they still keep hitting, but that's my major issue with this. That I'm worried that they've given me the best they got.
Yeah.
But I'm
worried because I found out who the director was.
Do you want to tell them about your experience with this director?
I've only seen one of his movies, and I did not like it whatsoever.
You want to try and say his name?
No.
If I'm not mistaken, he's Norwegian.
He's Norwegian.
He's Norwegian, and we'll double check in a minute. His two big movies before this one have been Troll Hunter, not the series, which is also produced by Guillermo del Toro. No. We're talking about the movie Troll Hunter, the Norwegian movie, and The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I didn't see that one.
I'll talk about that in a minute. But you and me have seen Troll Hunter.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it.
Not at all.
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I bought it.
What?
Yes. I like it. It's a found footage film. It was made around that time when the whole genre was a big thing. But the difference with this one was that it was made and written by comedians of Norwegian comedians, and they made this kind of dark comedy, and they made it a found footage horror film.
It's a comedy?
It is a comedy.
I don't know, I didn't laugh once.
I don't know, I got some of the jokes, but at least from what the director and other people from the cast have said, the jokes are very
not good.
Norwegian. Apparently, if you're not Norwegian, some of the jokes are just gonna go through you.
Okay, so there's a cultural disconnect.
There is apparently. But why don't you like it?
I just think it, like, I saw what Troll Hunters was about, and I'm like, okay, but then I saw that it's found footage, and I'm like, oh, because I don't mind found footage films, but honestly, looking back, most found footage movies I've seen aren't good.
No, they're not. And
I'm not saying found footage movies generally aren't good. No, that's not true. There are some really good ones, but
they're diamonds.
The good found footage films are diamonds, is the thing. So when you tell me it's a found footage film, my expectations are already low. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But then I read what the movie's about, and I'm like, okay, so this is found footage. Okay, so it can be like this cool fantasy story, whatever. But then I saw it, and I'm like, my God, if it's a comedy, maybe, I don't know if it's just not funny, or I'm just not Norwegian enough, which I apologize for not being Norwegian enough. But then I just feel like the plot was so contrived. I don't know. It's just that they kept pulling so much shit out of their ass, in my opinion. Like, oh, if you're a Christian, then you're in trouble, and oh no, they can't be seen through satellite, and then that kept on going and going, and I'm like, honestly, everything's just convenient for the plot, like, you know.
I mean, but that's two reasons. The Christian thing is just what the trolls do.
Fine, no, but I mean story-wise.
I think that was the point.
And then I didn't like.
I think that was no. You know what? Well, I mean, that's not the point. I think that's the joke. That every time that they go through it, there's just another reason and another thing. But either way, is that really the most important thing about that film?
What's the most important thing about that film?
The most important thing about that film, I think, is just the moment with the trolls. The human, I don't give a fuck, except for the troll hunter, which he was interesting. But other than him, I don't give a fuck about the other characters.
I barely remember the trolls. I didn't like the movie. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. I have a passion. I'm not saying it's the worst movie ever.
Right.
I'm not saying it's hot doo-doo garbage. But I just have a very passionate dislike for it because I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get what the point of this movie was. I feel like it was a waste of my time, honestly.
Oh, well. I don't know. Again,
but this one looks better, honestly.
It does.
This one looks better.
I'm saying this, like, I like Troll Hunter, and this one does look better than Troll Hunter.
I didn't like Troll Hunter, and I'm also saying this one looks better than Troll Hunter.
But the other one is pretty good. By the way, guys, if you just go see Troll Hunter, you can tell us your opinions about it in the comments.
It's on Netflix?
It is on Netflix.
Question mark?
It is.
I don't know.
Wait, it's on Netflix and it's on Hulu. You can
I saw it so long ago.
And then it's on Amazon. It's the horror of films. It's in all platforms. Maybe on DC too. Look.
Jesus Christ.
The other movie is the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
That one I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it.
No.
I saw it. That one's pretty good. Okay. It's pretty solid.
Okay.
Because it's a mystery. The whole point is to figure out why is this woman dead.
Okay.
And what killed her.
Okay.
And then spoopy shit start happening.
So despite the fact that the trailer is not the best, you still want to see this?
I'm gonna see it.
I'm gonna see it. I'll see it.
I'm not pumped anymore. I'm not like, yeah! But I am gonna go check it out. I'm gonna go see it.
Me too.
I'm gonna go see it the first day it comes out.
When is it coming out?
It's a spoopy movie. It's coming out in the spoopy month.
In the spoopy month? December.
Yes.
Because that's when suicide rates go high, man. It's a spoopy
Whoa.
time. It's a spoopy time
It
to
is
be.
a spoopy
It's
time.
coming out in August.
That's spoopy.
Going
starts.
back to school, you're right, shit. Pretty spoopy.
I don't know.
It's coming up pretty soon.
It is in a couple months.
Soon. In like a month or two, yeah.
That gives them time for 2 more trailers. And it spoils more.
12 more of your Godzilla.
And 1 clip. Oh my god. And 1 clip. No, we're gonna go see this. Let's. I wanna say one thing.
Okay.
This is produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
Does that pump you up for it a bit?
No.
Why?
Because for all I know, produced by Guillermo del Toro, I'm like, the film will be canceled the day before it's released. Because
if anything,
what was the last Guillermo del Toro movie
produced?
that we saw? Was Shape of Water.
That he directed, yes.
He directed, yeah. Like, and what was the last movie that he produced?
The last movie he produced.
I know what it is.
Quote unquote produced was a Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah. And it was a piece of shit.
It was garbage, but I don't blame the guy.
I'm not blaming him.
He has to be the producer. He created this IP. It's like...
I just want the Hobbit duology he was making. That's what I want.
It's not happening.
I know that's not happening. I still want it.
Alright, now, the horror movies that he's produced have been pretty good. And he's brought really good talent into the industry.
He has?
I mean, thanks to him, we got It. You know, it's because
True.
he produced Mama for this guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's also produced the last 2 Kung Fu Panda films, which have been
I thought he
best.
produced all of them.
Did he produce the first one? I am
don't
not
know.
sure. I know he produced the second one and the third one.
Whatever, I love Kung Fu Panda.
The point is that he has eye for
Talent.
good IP, you know, for good talent.
You do.
So let's give him a chance about this. I'm gonna see this movie. It looks interesting. Does it look scary though? I'm not sure.
Does it look scary? It looks like it has the potential to be scary. If only I hadn't seen all the scares. I mean, not all the scares, but if only I hadn't seen the scares that it showed us. I don't know. I feel like it could have been scarier.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's not gonna be scary. I think it's gonna be more just
An adventure film, sort of.
I think it's gonna be like Goosebumps. Because if anything, that's the movie we can compare it to the most. They're both based on.
Yeah, but then it turns out the Goosebumps movie was, and hear me out, audience. I'm gonna say something controversial.
Here we go.
The Goosebumps movie, the first one, was actually kind of good.
Right? Yeah, it was. It was.
I remember I didn't see it and I ignored it because I'm like, it's just a cash grab. But then you showed it to me,
I did.
and I'm like, that was not that bad actually.
So.
Did you see Goosebumps 2?
No.
It's on Netflix. And I'm like, should I give it the time of day?
The original cast isn't even in it.
Jack Black is in it.
Is he?
Yeah, he came back. And I'm
Jack
like,
Black.
I do like Jack Black, fuck.
Jack, what you doing? What you doing? Nah, I'm not interested in seeing it. Maybe
one
in
day
a
when I'm
downtime.
bored,
Yeah.
That's fair.
But right now, I think this might end up. It has the potential to end up being the surprise Goosebump of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
If that is the case, then I'll probably really like it.
I hope so.
But based on the director's previous works, I probably won't.
I hope so because horror film this year have been
Pretty good.
on top, and we're still expecting other really good horror films. It Part 2.
We've talked about it almost every episode.
it's like Game of Thrones, yeah.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, speaking of Game of Thrones, that leads us to our next... Are we done with this topic?
Any last thing you want to talk about? It's just we don't have much to talk about.
We really don't.
I don't recognize anyone of the cast.
Neither do I.
I don't know who the writer is.
Me neither.
Just we know the director, we know the producer, and they're capable hands, and we just have to see what's up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about X-Men.
So let's talk about X-Men. Dark Phoenix 2019, directed by Simon Kinberg.
How many movies has this man directed?
1.
It shows.
It really does.
It does.
So what did we think? I thought it was pretty bad.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say that it was trash. It was
pretty
actual.
bad. Pretty
I
bad.
didn't like it.
I did not like it.
at all. Here's where we differ. Here's where we differ. I didn't like it at all.
I already know what this
And here we
podcast
go.
is going to be about. I already know what this podcast is going to be about.
Oh.
This podcast is going to be X-Men Last Stand versus X-Men Dark Phoenix.
What? How about
Let's
X-Men Wolverines?
No.
All right.
Because these are basically the same story. It's a Phoenix story.
All right. I think Last Stand is better than Dark Phoenix.
I think that Last Stand was such a piece of shit. I agree that Last Stand is better, but I had more fun watching Dark Phoenix.
Interesting. Before
Dark
we start,
Phoenix
can we agree that both movies are trash?
Oh yeah, they're both movies are hot doo-doo garbage. Both movies are bad, but both movies have cool things in them.
They do.
They both have cool things in
And
them.
I think
don't know
that's
why.
what we're actually scaling here. Which one had
the cooler thing.
the cooler thing?
Or which one had more cooler thing than the other.
Correct.
Because they're both garbage.
Yes, I say it's Last Stand. You say.
I say it's kind of Dark Phoenix.
All right, cool. Let's go. Each one has to give 5 moments or 5 scenes or 5 anything.
5 anythings.
You start.
Oh, I want before we start, I want to say this: that both movies succeed at one thing.
Ruining the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yes. Okay. The other thing that they completely succeed at, and I thought this in the movie theater, is that man, both of these movies have great soundtracks.
Huh. I mean, Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer
It never
and
fails.
I don't remember the guy that made the soundtrack of Last Stand, but I love the soundtrack of Last Stand.
It was.
When the finale of Last Stand, when Jean is destroying everything, and that choir, I'm like, oh my god, this choir sounds amazing. I listen to that song all the time.
You're right. Yeah.
I love that song.
Okay, let's start. You. First thing that you like.
Okay, well, something that it's a lot easier because this movie was so bad. It's a lot easier to start with what we liked.
Yeah, and I think we should be positive before we go
right.
into the really nitpicky.
All right,
sides.
that's fair. One thing I don't think it's nitpicky though because the movie's bad. One thing I really liked, point one of mine for Dark Phoenix was Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Just Nightcrawler. Now, I am a bit. My judgment isn't the best at this because Nightcrawler has always been my favorite X-Man. He's
my favorite. My second favorite is
are...
Cat. Shadowcat.
I don't have I haven't really made a list.
Okay.
My favorite's always been Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler has.
And in this movie, they really gave his powers a moment to shine. Like his character was just kind of there. He didn't really matter. But the way he used his power reminded me of, I'm like, yo, this is more violent than the opening of X2. And that's saying a lot.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Because that opening is one of the best openings.
The best openings in a superhero movie ever.
I would
but
say
dude,
film.
in Dark Phoenix, he was stabbing people's throats with his tail. And I'm like, holy, this is PG-13? It's PG-13? They're doing some R-rated stuff right
gory.
here. It was
they got away with it.
It was surprisingly violent. Like there are a few moments where Magneto literally stabs people with metal, and we see it on screen. And I'm like, yo.
I think they just got away with it with Samurai Jack rules. Because they're not human, they're aliens.
True.
In Samurai Jack, they can do whatever they want because they're robots. I think
and
that's
also the fact that
with.
there's no blood as well. So I think that
they're
helped.
bloodless aliens.
Bloodless aliens. By the way, there's aliens now.
So your point is Nightcrawler's power.
Okay.
So that's seeing when he fought. Okay, my point.
No, just scenes.
Okay.
Just scenes like when he was in space and he was trying to maneuver where he teleported. Like, oh, I can't see it. Like, I thought that was cool.
Okay. Well.
Quicksilver was fucking useless in this movie, though. Jesus Christ, I hated that so much. I'm sorry. Anyways, your plus. Your Last Stand plus.
My Last Stand plus. You know what? I'm gonna lay it down. I think we got the better Beast in Last Stand.
Whew, controversial. Even though, don't get me wrong, I love Beast in Last Stand, but I like both Beasts.
I like both. I just think, strangely enough, Grammer had the best interpretation of Beast. At least the Beast
from the comics.
From everywhere, because up until that point, up until First Class, the Beast was always the same type of character. This old, wise, Yoda-ish, bookish character with he was both Beauty and the Beast, you know? Here, in Last Stand,
he's more of an action hero No, not Last Stand.
In First Class.
In First Class and onwards, we don't see, like, yeah, he's kind of the techie guy, he's kind of the smart guy, but he's not. We don't really see his more artistic side, his more poetic side.
I see him more as the Hulk of the team.
Yeah, he's definitely the Bruce Banner of the team. I agree. Yeah. All right, and I agree. Beast in Last Stand is great.
And I wanted to point out this one moment with Beast that I'm never gonna forget. It's when Beast he meets Mutant X.
The Cure.
The Cure.
Uh-huh.
The Cure is not what I'm including here. It's that point where Beast goes to say hello,
and he takes away his mutation from his hand.
And for that 1
second,
he sees his skin for the first time in years, and you can see the doubt, the conflict, and then the resolution of that when he's like, okay, I might be cured, but this doesn't fix everything. And you can see all that without dialogue, just with Beast's face. Face filled with makeup, like pounds and pounds of makeup, you can still feel that. And that moment to me is better than Dark Phoenix overall, in my point. Second point, you go.
Second positive for Dark Phoenix. I'm thinking.
You had a couple.
All right, the Phoenix Force.
Okay.
Even though that one's got a bit of a sour note to it, but overall,
explain the sour note.
No, but I will. But okay. I like the fact that in this one, and you guys, if you guys know me personally, or you guys have been following the podcast, you know me. I think when you change things in an adaptation, I don't give a shit. Like, go ahead and change it. If it benefits the story, change it completely if you want to, as long as the core is the same. You know, as long as the core themes and if the core themes are the same, then fantastic. How to Train Your Dragon is a good example of that, where How to Train Your Dragon movies are completely different from the books, but they have the same core message and theme and whatnot. And I'm like,
and they tell a good story, which is
and they tell a good story. And I'm like, that's it. That is the model for adaptations. You don't need to be loyal to the source material at all. But in this one, I kind of appreciated that the Dark Phoenix was more something like it was in the comics. Because, again, if y'all know me or have been following the podcast, y'all know that despite the fact that I am an avid comic book reader, I think comics are fucking retarded. And they're dumb. They are, I'm sorry. They're just a little too ridiculous. So the fact that the Phoenix is this humongous, we just lost. I
can feel them all just falling out. Just dislike.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfollow. No, but I before you go, I have to kind of put my point in. Yeah, comics are
dumb.
It's not just that they're ridiculous. They're dumb. They are ridiculous. A lot of them are, but it's defending that point. It's
controversial.
It's not even. It's just that we go into comics to forget about the world. It's escapism.
Sure.
But that's not the point. The comics are complicated to follow by design, unfortunately. For the years of trying to remodel everything and revamp everything and just remake and redo, we've lost this chronological order of what comics, of the stories that we've been following for years. And that has made it very difficult for any comic adaptation to be.
Not only adaptation, I've had so many friends say, "Hey Miguel, I want to start reading comics. Where should I start?" There is no beginning.
There is no beginning. There's no end.
There's no beginning and there's no end. That is my issue.
You jump into that, and good luck to you, sir.
That is my issue.
Yeah.
But despite that fact, I liked that in the Dark Phoenix movie, the Phoenix Force is something more akin to what it is in the comics.
Yeah, to the original run.
To the original Dark Phoenix saga story. And I'm not saying that it's the coolest power ever, because it's still fucking ridiculous. Like, the Phoenix Force is the spark that gave birth to the universe. What? What the fuck?
I mean,
what the fuck does that have to do with mutants?
What can you do?
But anyway, I think it's better than Last Stand's, the Phoenix Force is telekinesis squared.
I mean, yeah.
It's telekinesis plus telekinesis equals Phoenix Force. That's what I'm like, that's just unimaginative.
It is.
That's just unimaginative.
It is. It was basically, she just can't control her. She just can't control her mind, and it is
boring.
It is boring. In this one,
so I like the Phoenix Force in the Dark Phoenix film.
Phoenix.
But here's the issue with that. My positive has a bit of a negative to it, and that is that this Phoenix Force contradicts the ending of the Apocalypse movie so badly. Like, the only reason that movie has a resolution is because of the Phoenix. And yet this movie would have me believe, oh no, she gets the Phoenix Force in the Dark Phoenix movie. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. She's had it since she was a child.
You know, this is how how far this movie has dragged us, that we're defending
that even
Apocalypse.
And even, don't get me wrong, we'll do an X-Men. I feel like we're gonna do an X-Men retrospective next year when New Mutants comes out. Because New Mutants will be the last film. Shut the fuck up.
If
James.
it comes out,
I believe it'll come out. I believe it'll come out, and I feel like we should do the retrospective then. But honestly, I didn't hate the Apocalypse movie. I thought it was just I don't think it was a good movie, but I don't think it was a bad movie. It was just kind of there.
That's alright. We're not talking about Apocalypse now.
I'm not talking about
the point is,
now, but the ending is completely contradicted.
It is.
Or retconned. I don't know, and I don't care. Both are an issue. She should have always had the Phoenix. I like how the Phoenix works in this movie. More than it does in Last Stand, even though story-wise, it doesn't make sense. Anyways, now for your plus.
Second point for me. I'm gonna have to say that I like when my Magneto has a point.
You're talking about Ian McKellen Magneto.
Ian McKellen's Magneto in Last Stand. I like him. He's my point in this one because he has a point. There's a plan with him. Not even that there's just a plan. We can have a good story without our character having a plan. It's just that there is something, he has an arc, there's something to be learned, he has something to do. They don't fucking drag him out the mud to do nothing and then go back into the mud.
Looking at you, Michael Fassbender.
And I love Michael. I love Michael. Mwah!
Michael!
Yeah, I think you gave me the best look of this film when he realized Mystique died.
Yeah.
That was a really powerful moment.
Don't get me fucking started when Mystique died.
By the way, spoilers.
Mystique dies.
Spoilers.
And it was a shitty death.
It was a shitty death. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I prefer Last Stand's version of Magneto.
Okay. My turn?
Yes. There's not much to say. Is Ian McKellen?
Shut the fuck up. It's my turn. My positive.
Fine.
I like the scene where Beast and Xavier are talking about Mystique's death. Right. I like that scene. I think that it's very emotionally fueled. I think it's very in character. And there were a couple of really oh shit moments. Like when, again, there's spoilers all around, but Beast has this one line. Even though, again, my positive has a negative. Fuck, you're right. Last Stand is better. Shit. Fuck.
Let's not go off judging.
But there's this great line that Beast has that says, Charles, admit that you did something wrong. Because I'll admit I did something wrong because Mystique, she wanted to leave. And I convinced her not to. I accept that I did something wrong. You can't even do that. And I'm like, shit, fuck, that's a great moment. And when they're drinking and he breaks the ball, I thought that was a very powerful performance.
Here we go.
Here's the negative of that. That is a very important character beat in Charles' story arc in this movie. And Charles' story arc in this movie overall is terrible. It's horrendous.
My problem with his story arc is this.
It's out of character.
It's not just out of character.
Okay.
Is that they're trying to... The whole point of the film, from beginning to end, is that they're trying to show me that Xavier is in the wrong.
Yeah.
But I agree with him.
No.
Most of the time. I do. They're like, oh, you're putting these kids in danger, and he's like, and
they're not kids anymore.
They're not kids anymore. First of all, and second, Mystique tells him, oh, you're just doing this for the president, and he's like, yes, because that's what's keeping us safe. And that's what's keeping us in the good.
No, but there was a point to be made that it was kind of going to his head, because it was going to his head. Here's the problem. That doesn't make sense, because Xavier isn't like that.
Especially this late in his years.
Yeah, especially this Xavier. Just no, Xavier doesn't let things go to his head.
His head is a bit too important.
His head, I agree. And All my negatives have all my positives
But
have negatives.
there is one positive that you have that I want to get to that I don't think has that much of a negative.
Okay, do you want your next positive? Because I basically.
How many do I have?
You have 2.
No. Wait. Beast?
Magneto. You have 2.
Oh my god. Is that all we got? Damn it. Wait, you have... okay, yeah. Oh, good. Here I go. I'm running out of positives too, damn it. Okay,
I've got a last stand positive, but that's your criteria.
You mean music?
No, because that's both of them.
Okay.
Both of them have
They
that.
both have very good
Both
music.
have fantastic soundtracks.
Hans Zimmer has not disappointed.
Yeah, he did great.
Okay, one... I have... Okay, I'm just gonna say this one, because I'm running out. The opening with Angel as a kid is still an incredibly powerful and
a lot of X-Men movies have powerful openings.
They do, and that one is very powerful because it symbolizes, it reflects
the
whole problem within the mutant community, and so many people from the LGBT community and Happy Pride, you know, can see themselves in that moment.
I mean, yeah, because the X-Men have always been a metaphor for, honestly, minorities in general, but especially the gays and the LGBT communities. Yeah, they've always been a minority for that, it's true. But it wasn't until Bryan Singer movies came out that subtext kind of became text.
It came, it was
kind of like,
straight up there.
Hey, guess what? The X-Men, they're gay! They're all gay!
And then they made officially some of them gay. The first one to come out was Iceman.
Iceman, yeah, that's true. But that's not the point. I don't give a shit about that.
Okay.
But yeah, Bryan Singer is despite the fact that he's a fucking terrible creep, he is the man responsible for making the X-Men subtext into text, and I felt like that just benefited the X-Men story.
It did. It helped a lot.
It benefited it a lot, yeah. But what was your positive?
My positive was the opening with Kid Angel.
Kid Angel, yeah, that was a nice scene, I guess.
It was good. I actually found another positive, but it's your turn.
Okay, now for my positive.
Yes. The silence between your choices and mine are probably my favorite parts.
You better not edit these.
No, these are staying.
These speak volumes.
There has to be something, Miguel.
Oh, the performances. Everyone did a great job with what they had.
Okay.
Everyone did a great job with what they had. Sophie Turner. Mwah.
Inspired casting, honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Honestly.
Definitely. Casting.
I actually like her more than
Whoa, okay.
This one. No. No.
Maybe rein it in there.
I don't know. I think I would prefer to follow Sophie for the rest of X-Men.
No, I love the original Jean. I love the original Jean.
I don't know. I prefer Sophie. There's just something about her face.
That it's beautiful, and I'm gonna...
Not just that.
Okay.
She is beautiful, but it's not just that. It's that there is also... I can also see kindness. You know, I can also see understanding. With the original Jean, I just see... She's like a teacher. You know, so when you're a kid, you
I
just
like
see
that,
a teacher.
though.
But why?
Because she's a teacher.
Yeah, but then when...
Because she's a teacher.
Okay, no, fine, she's a teacher. That's not the point. The point is that when Sophie turns into the Dark Phoenix, there is this dilemma between us that we're seeing this kind person do horrible things. It's very disturbing for this next... Your last positive involves that, and it's very important. The disturbing thing. I guess I'll tell you your positive in a minute. We get that, but with the other one, I don't get that much. She does disturbing things, and I see a person like that doing disturbing things, and it kind of fits in my mind.
I prefer OG Jean.
OG Jean.
OG Jean. Yeah.
OG Jean.
I like her more because, despite the fact that she was grown up, and despite the fact that she was in fact a teacher.
Yes.
Whenever she felt vulnerable, like she couldn't control her powers,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was very effective because it took her back to being a kid. Like it took her back to, oh god, I feel like I'm just some dumb kid like I was back then. It makes me feel like I'm Sophie Turner in Dark Phoenix. It makes me, because Sophie Turner, yeah, she's young and whatever, but you know, she can't.
Not just about
she
young.
can't. No, I'm not saying that, but it's
Okay.
like she can't control her powers. Fine, she's still a young Jean. I don't mind that Sophie Turner can't control her powers, but when the original Jean couldn't control her powers, I liked it because it took her back to that headspace and it made her feel uncomfortable and had a lot of implications as to
Yeah.
her self-esteem, because it's like she doesn't feel comfortable in her own skin.
And
But meanwhile, Sophie, she doesn't know what's happening to
yeah,
her.
I get what you're saying, and that's almost buying me. That's like you're saying that, and that's very subtle, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something, and it's, you know,
And
it's
then in Last Stand, she just got horny, and I'm like, what am I watching?
there is something about Sophie being young.
I'm not
that
saying,
just-
yeah, Sophie did a fantastic... Again, everyone did a fantastic job.
That's your positive.
That's my
Casting.
positive. Even Michael Fassbender, who had literal shit to
nothing.
work
yes,
with.
Yes.
I think his character was done so... Both Xavier and Eric were done dirty in this
They
movie.
were.
And they are. Like, they're not my favorite characters, but they are the best relationship in these movies. And
Yeah.
honestly, they're one of the best relationships in the comics as well.
I think.
Oh, also, Genosha was lame.
Who?
I'm like, this is Genosha, the island.
Oh yeah.
This is Genosha? Some shitty little... We're living like fucking cavemen. What the fuck? I get... And
I mean,
here
that's
I go.
based on real community.
Okay, fine, but in the comics, I hate to be that guy. But in
Bring
the,
it up.
In the comics, Genosha wasn't some little community where, oh, they were farming. It was a city.
It was.
It was a giant city-state in the middle of the ocean. And again, guys, I hate to repeat myself. I don't want things to be like the comics, but at least be imaginative.
Better.
Or better than the comics, because I'm sorry, most comic book movies, in my opinions, are better than the comic that they're based on.
Yeah.
But then I see
Even shitty ones like Wanted.
yeah,
Even the Wanted movie is better than the Wanted comic.
yeah. But then I see this and I'm like, really? We just kind of settled on a shitty little commune?
Ugh.
We couldn't do something better, or at least the super awesome city in the middle of the ocean. That would have been cool
Yeah.
at least. Or something else. I'm not saying I want Genosha to be like it was in the comics. I just want Genosha to be memorable.
Yeah.
But in the movie,
Something-
Genosha was just some place.
Yeah, something
And that was
means
lame.
something.
Something that
and
means
it's
something.
in the middle of a lake.
Yeah. Wouldn't it have been because basically the subtext is, oh, this is Eric's answer to Charles's school.
Yeah.
Like, this is how Eric does things.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, he's had the money, he's had the privilege, he's had, you
Yeah,
know,
but Eric had to
Eric
build it.
had to build it. And I'm like, wow, that would have been great if it was memorable.
Yes.
But instead, we live in little tents, and we tell little stories in the campfire. What the fuck am I watching? Piece of shit. Am I done with my positive?
No.
Everyone did
One
great.
more.
All the act.
One
yeah,
more.
But,
But
it's
I
your turn.
have, it's me turn. Me turn is Ellen
the
Page.
best turn. Ellen Page.
Ellen
Oh
Page.
fuck, you're right. Shit.
Ellen Page. First of all, Ellen Page does no wrong. Second, she was gay before being gay.
Yeah, you're right.
And
She's too powerful.
and she's Shadowcat, and Shadowcat is a great character.
Yeah, she's cool. I loved her in Days of Future Past. Let's not talk about Days of Future Past because we will be here for hours. Love that movie.
Your last positive, and then my last positive. Give me time to think, cause
I bitch. Neither do I. What the fuck?
Yours is the make me walk thing.
Oh,
Yes, best scene about it. Best scene.
there is one scene in Dark Phoenix that I thought was really good. Oh boy, before I get to that, going back to the performances of the actors real quick, Jessica Chastain, love that. I love her.
Second time we bring her up in this podcast.
Second time we bring up in this
does
podcast.
not disappoint.
She did great with what she had.
Yes.
Anyways, there's this one scene in Dark Phoenix that I thought was really good. and that it's when Jessica Chastain, she's the alien that is basically Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings 2. Charles goes to Jean, and
she's like, do it.
Jessica Chastain is like, Gandalf the Grey is here.
Do it.
Gandalf the Grey, he is not welcome. And then she's like, oh, kill him. And there's just this great moment where Charles is like, oh, Jean, I believe that you can conquer this because you can do whatever you set your mind to. And Jean just tells him, oh, yeah, Charles, walk.
Uh-oh.
And my mouth just fell like, oh. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll make you. And she makes him walk. And it just seems so agonizing, and not only agonizing, humiliating.
It is.
Like, oh my god. And I'm not gonna lie, it deserved it. Charles' story arc deserved it. Not only historic in the film, but Charles' story arc overall from First Class, it deserved that moment of, oh my god, that's so disturbing and embarrassing. I thought it was fantastic.
No, that's the best scene.
But then the movie kept going.
That scene even starts with the best shot, in my opinion.
What's the best shot?
When Eric walks in the door and he brings a train behind him. That was a fantastic shot.
Why did he do that?
Oh no, pointless. Pointless. Great shot. And that's my positive, because that scene has everything. It has that moment with Jean and Charles. It has Jean and Charles. It has Eric and even alien chick, because I actually liked her a lot.
Jessica Chastain?
Yeah, I liked her a lot. And it was kind of spoopy for me because I came out of the movie, and next to my car was this woman with pale blonde hair.
No. I don't want it.
I was gonna be killed. I was gonna be an alien.
You were gonna be an alien.
My last positive, and
did I do all my positives?
You did. That was your last positive. And my last positive, I think everyone's gonna agree with me. I've been holding this up from the beginning.
You mean you just remembered it? I continue.
What would this movie be without Juggernaut?
James, get
the Juggernaut, bitch! It makes this movie. You can see that I am stalling for time.
Because you can't.
Because I can't remember anything else. Fuck.
I have a positive, but
which one is it?
No,
I hope you with yours. I hope you with
fine.
yours.
One thing that I really liked about X-Men First Class, Last Stand. One thing I liked about First Class, Last Stand.
One thing I liked about First Class is it was good.
Yeah. No, one thing I liked about Last Stand is just, I like the fact that Logan kills her. Finding you come up with
what else were they gonna do? It's the same thing with Dark Phoenix. That's not what happened in Dark Phoenix. I know that's not what happened in Dark Phoenix, but it's the same issue.
Oh.
If you think they're gonna let Jean Grey survive after all she's done for the film, you are insane.
No, but I just like
they gotta kill her.
I just like the scene itself, like when everything is disintegrating and the song and everything's great, and it kind of makes sense that Wolverine is the one that has to go and kill her because he's indestructible. Fine, he's the only one that can do it, and you see his skin being ripped apart and then reconstructing itself over and over. I thought that was a great detail. And then he's the one that gets to kill her, and I think it's really sad because that was, Hugh Jackman says that is the most meaningful relationship Wolverine has in the entire series.
It is.
Him with Jean.
It's just,
even though I disagree, I think that my favorite relationship of Logan's is him and Rogue.
That's actually a more important one.
It's a more important one, and also very underappreciated.
That's why she turned back into a human, because he wasn't there for her.
Yeah. And also very underappreciated, because they just kind of shove it under the rug as the series progresses, and I'm like, no! This happened because these two got together. I don't like that.
And he joined the X-Men because of her.
And then in Logan, she didn't show up. Fine. I can understand that. I don't like that she didn't show up. Like, I would have liked that Rogue would have been the hallucination in this one, because Jean was the hallucination in Wolverine 2. I would have liked if Rogue would have been the hallucination in Logan. Yeah. But they didn't do it. Fine. I understand why you didn't do it, but not even a reference to Rogue? Nothing to Rogue? Are you kidding?
Yeah, completely under the rug.
I didn't like that in Logan. It's not an issue with Logan, it's just an issue with the rogue character altogether in the film franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. The relationship between Logan and Jean in the movies, I've never particularly liked.
I think it's fine.
No, that's first of all, that's part of the issue. I just think it's just
should have been better.
If you're gonna go with this love triangle thing, go with it.
Go with it.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't worthwhile, and part of it is because of what type of dishonor they did to Cyclops, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another positive with Dark Phoenix, that they treated Cyclops like a character, like someone with an arc, a shitty arc, but an arc nonetheless.
Yeah.
And like a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
like a fucking jealous prick. You know, that just goes out and dies.
That didn't bother me because I get why he was jealous. Because it's like, have you seen Hugh Jackman?
Obviously. But
have you seen Hugh Jackman? If that motherfucker walked up to my girlfriend and said, "I want to fuck you," I don't know what I'd do. I'd be like, "Can I let him?"
Shotgun though.
Shotgun? Can I go first?
Let me test the waters.
Let me test the waters and let's see what happens.
Oh
but
my
yeah.
God. Okay, you know what? My last official positive is that scene that you told me that I completely forgot, but now you told me and I remember, and I know it's great because I remember it now. When that random mutant or whatever her name is, like, "Where's your mark?"
Oh.
And then Eric's like, "Here it is," and it's like his
serial number.
His serial number when he was in the
concentration camps. Yeah, that's a great moment. I agree.
Both movies are very disappointing.
Yeah, because both movies are the culminations of major story arcs, and both of them just drop the ball completely.
They do. Speaking as a filmmaker myself, I do have to say
You're
that...
a filmmaker?
Oh my god. I do have to say, and this is weird because it's the same writer for both movies, but...
Yeah, I don't know why.
But Last Stand does have a more solid script.
I agree.
It's still messy, but it's better.
Speaking of the script, are we not going to talk about the reshoots?
The reshoots for Dark Phoenix? I wanted to talk about them, but I don't know if you have the same ideas that I do.
What do you mean?
I think...
Well, for the fact of it is that for those who don't know, Dark Phoenix, the ending was completely reshot. Because apparently it was a little too similar to the Civil War, Captain America 3 Civil War ending. Which I'm like, what? And then they reshot it into what it is, and I think it's crap now, but whatever.
Wait a minute, who killed who?
I don't fucking know. They reshot it.
To Civil War?
Wasn't it to Civil War?
Civil War was years ago.
Okay, fine, but that's not the point.
No, I think it was Infinity War.
Infinity War? That half of everyone dies?
Fuck.
I would have preferred that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they reshot it because when they decided to postpone the movie, it was in the middle of the merger, of the Fox Disney merger. And in my opinion, I think they mostly did it because Marvel was like, okay, we want to do this and that, and you're gonna do this and that, so we need you to not do that, so we can do that. And I think that's what they did.
Okay.
And you can feel it. The pacing is off.
Yeah,
because you feel like there's completely missing scenes.
Yeah.
Dude, and it's really short. It's a short ass movie.
Is it?
Compared to the other ones.
Is it?
Yes.
It didn't feel short.
Days of Future Past is 2 hours and a half or 40.
Fine, but it didn't feel short.
Because of the pacing.
It felt long. I'm like, oh my god, end already.
It's because of the pacing, honey. But it's I think like 40 minutes.
Oh my god.
No, an hour and 40 minutes. And that's
it felt eternal. It felt fucking eternal. I'm like, oh my god, end, please. Even though, okay, now that we've talked about the film and how shitty it is, I don't think it deserves a 22%.
I'll settle for 35.
I settle for 40.
It's just five. It's just 5 points apart.
Because I'm like, yeah, it's bad, but it's not the worst fucking thing I've seen my entire life.
How much does Wolverine X-Men Wolverine have? That's still the worst.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter because I know for a fact that Dark Phoenix is scored lower because Dark Phoenix is the lowest scored.
No, that's not fair then.
No, it's not. It's not.
Have you guys seen X-Men Wolverine?
Yeah,
that's trash.
37%. X-Men Origins Wolverine has a 37%. Then I'm like, switch him.
I'm really upset. This deserved more points than X-Men Wolverine. It will always deserve more points than X-Men.
X-Men Wolverine will always be the low point of the series.
Damn it.
Well, who knows? Maybe New Mutants will prove us wrong.
If it comes out.
Because New Mutant, I think it will come out, and do you know why I think it will come out in 2020? Because it'll be the 20th anniversary of the X-Men franchise. And I'm like, oh my god, it's been 20 years?
But they gotta take out the end credit scene. This one didn't have any end credit
No,
scenes.
it didn't, because what can they tease?
They can't
what can they tease?
They can tease our enjoyment.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to New Mutants. Not because Dark Phoenix was bad, but because I don't...
you didn't like the concept at all.
I don't like the concept of New Mutants, and then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, I always understood that they were probably just the mutants that Mr. Sinister is working on.
Yeah. Also, Maisie Williams is gonna be, and I'm like, I'm never gonna escape Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Game of Thrones until the end of my days, and it's sad, really.
Is her Stranger Kids guy?
You know who's in it, right?
Who?
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas
in New Mutants.
Is he Mr. Sinister?
Maybe.
He looks like him.
I guess. I just wasn't expecting it.
I'll take it. He won the Palme d'Or, so he's a good actor.
I mean, I didn't say he was a bad actor.
Everyone said he's a bad actor at some point. Now he has the badge to be like, nope. I won the Palme d'Or. I am the actor.
I like him.
Everyone likes him.
Oh, okay.
But no one has actually come out and said, nah, he's a great actor. They just say, no, I like him. I've been following him for a while.
I've been following him since '98. Since I was a wee lad.
Zorro was one of my favorite movies.
I mean, that's one of my favorite adventure movies.
Fantastic. But then I saw him in a couple Spanish films. Because he's
attractive.
Spanish. He's from Spain, so he's made Spanish movies. Spanish movies. And I've seen them. He started to work with Pedro Almodóvar, which is the director who directed him in this award-winning piece where he won the Palme d'Or.
Fine. I don't know if he'll be Mr. Sinister.
He is gonna be Mr. Sinister.
I hope so.
There's nothing else he can be.
It's kind of upsetting because, again, I don't think the movie will be good.
Man,
the thing.
We'll see.
But I do think they've settled on next year because it'll be the 20th anniversary of the franchise.
Yeah.
So
we'll fucking see, man. I don't know, maybe...
I'm like, my god, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, maybe this movie will surprise. You know, maybe something will come out of it and we'll be like, oh! It was pretty good. You know,
I don't know.
Maybe it'll be better than Dark Phoenix.
Maybe.
I know it's definitely going to be better than X-Men Wolverine.
Can you imagine, though?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Don't even say anything. Well, man, I have nothing else to talk about in Dark Phoenix. You have anything else to say?
Magneto could have easily been written out, and that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's always an issue for me.
Oh wait, how do you feel about Beast being the principal now, the director of the school?
Fine, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, you okay with that?
I'm not okay with it.
Okay,
but
cool.
If
yeah,
anyone else, if it isn't Charles, then yeah, the Beast is the best next thing. So
in these movies,
whatever, I guess.
Whatever.
I'm still upset. I know why we didn't, but I'm still upset we didn't get a Wolverine cameo.
He's too busy, you know.
It's not that he's too busy.
With his tour, with his.
It's not that he's too busy. It's that he already said.
He
already said that he's not gonna come back as Wolverine after Logan. I'm like,
unless
fine.
Marvel
no, he already said no.
I know, but fuck it. We'll get Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh God, that's another podcast. Anyway, yeah, Dark Phoenix was kind of bad. It had cool things, but overall, kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's all I've got to
that's
say
the tea.
about that. That's the tea.
That's all we can say about this movie. Next week, next week is our
10th episode. So we're gonna do something big.
Yeah, we're gonna do something special.
What is it? I don't know.
When we figure it out, we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
we may bring you an opinion piece about X-Men. God. Men in Black.
Oh right, Men in Black.
Men in Black International. It's coming out this week. We may go see that one. We are actually getting into Chernobyl right now, so fuck if we can finish it before next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, surprises are on your way. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Act today. Remember, you can support us in our Patreon. You can look for us on Facebook. You can look for us on Instagram. Me, you can look for James on JamesJ_237.
And you can find me at Miguel_Cypher on Instagram.
If you guys need anything, if you want more information, you can comment downstairs. If you walk down the stairs to in the page, you can find our comment section. And that's it for tonight, man.
That's it, man.
That's it. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. Have a good week. See you next time.